Good morning, students. This is Miss Savigny, and Miss Tatro and I wanted to welcome you to day 2. We're going to get started today by getting outside, choosing our areas, and starting to build that loom. The target of the entire project is this. You should be able to say, I will bring awareness to the issue of invasive species in the Ada Cascade area through weavings along the woodland trails at Central Middle School. We do have daily expectations of you, and this is for your safety and your respect of your classmates, the school community, and the natural world are of utmost importance during this special unit, and therefore we expect you to adhere to the following. Use tools safely and the way they were intended. A lot of our loppers and pruners, they seem big and strong and like they can cut through a lot, but those loppers really can't cut through anything more than about 1 5/8 inch, or certainly not bigger than 2 inches. So if you've got a piece that's thicker than that, then ask me to use a hand pruning saw like the one you see there that Elias is using correctly. Now, in our case, most of our items will be growing up a tree or something, so we'll be very careful. But also, it's tempting to put your loppers in the ground, kind of like a shovel or something, but the blade of those and all the mechanisms that make them open and close can't handle that. So please don't put them down in the dirt. And obviously, you shouldn't run with the tools. We want everyone safe. We're giving you a lot of different resources, and as well as things that you'll be bringing in and sharing with your group. We'd like you to not waste or ruin anything. Even pieces that we get from the woodlands, if you don't want to use it, it's possible that another group would like to use that piece. So we'll return everything at the end of each hour. Do no harm to the natural world. Obviously, we're cutting invasive species, and if there's an aggressive species that would be helpful for you to use, if you get permission, it's possible we'll allow you to cut that as well. But that is only if directed by Mrs. Tatro or me. We have a plan for where each class will be working, and so you should remain within the boundaries that we show you when we go out, unless there's some special permission that you've received from one of the teachers. At the end of each hour, you'll return all the tools and other materials to the shed. You'll take them out from there as well. But you can see that these tools are marked with yellow tape, and each group has its own color. And so you'll get items that have your color, and you'll bring them back and keep them in a pile for the next hour. First hour, we'll take everything out of the shed, and fourth hour, we'll put everything back in. But up to that point, we'll keep them outside in stacks so that you can just use them easily, get them quickly, and head out on your way. Specifically today, we'd like you to concentrate on this target. I can work cooperatively with my group to create a loom in the forest. So today's tasks are to claim a workspace in the area. We're doing it along the trails because our hope is that students and community members will see these items along the trail and read your artist statements and be impacted by the things that you say and what they see, and also the great work that you're doing removing invasive species. Also, you're going to mark off your trees that you want to use with yarn and a sticky note. And these are special sticky notes that can withstand weather, and you'll put your group number on that. And that way the teachers know whose space is whose, but also tomorrow when we have cohort B, they'll be able to come out and find the area that they're working in easily. So you do need to measure the width of your loom when you want to go out and get a piece of Oriental bittersweet, because you want it to be the right width. If you do cut it too short, then give that to one of the teachers so that we can keep it for another group who might need that length. Don't just throw it down and then we have no idea where it is. And sometimes it might be hard for us to find the right size or, the right thickness of Oriental bittersweet. Also, it's possible that the top or the bottom of your loom is wider than the other. So be sure to measure both where you want the top to be and where you want the bottom to be. So you're going to go out and find bittersweet. Now this is the example that Mrs. Tatro and I made. The bottom piece here is bittersweet. The top piece is an aggressive wild grape. And so if that was something you saw and you wanted to cut, we would allow that as well. But we really want to get rid of this bittersweet first. Also, if we just get really low and there's no more bittersweet, we also have some Siberian elm trees we could cut and some other things. So just ask us, we'll help you. But here are some examples of areas where it is that you could cut pieces. Here's a piece of bittersweet. This is from the tree where Mrs. Tatro and I got our piece. And you can see with the bittersweet, all these lenticels are so pronounced. It's very textured wood. But on top, I wanted to bring your attention to poison ivy growing. So it's very hard to tell right now because the leaves aren't out. So once they start to emerge, we'll show you that. But there are these little hairs holding it onto places. Some right there too. It's really hard to see here. When it gets older, it's a lot hairier. But that little vine isn't very old. But everyone can transport the oils to someone else. So please don't feel that you're immune to poison ivy and so you can just rip a vine off a tree or something. Please ignore any tree that has poison ivy on it. Finally, once you have all your pieces, you need to tie them very tightly and get a lot of tension between the different pieces of the loom frame. Otherwise, it won't hold your whole piece up. And so my husband, John, is showing us some techniques. And we're going to watch a video with him.
So we're just going to fold our rope over about this far. Just make a little loop right here. Just tie a little, just so you can make a little slip knot sort of loop right there. And you're going to come over here, and you're going to pull your rope through the loop. And right off the bat, you're just going to pull it nice and tight. Get it nice and tight. And then you come around and you pass it on. The key thing is getting it nice and tight. Make sure that your tail stays open and free, because we're going to come back to that. That is the coolest part of the whole system. There you go. And then pull it tight every time you come around. So this is good and sturdy now. And then, like I said, if you want to change directions, you make this way now, and then you can sort of, I'm still going the same way, that doesn't matter. And then when you think it's nice and strong enough, you come around and you get your little extra piece right here, and you tie a knot like that, with your finger in there. Fingers galore, there we go. Okay, good. Just like Christmas bows, and it's done. Should be nice and sturdy. Yeah, ready to go.
So I'm sorry about the technical difficulty there. And whoops, there we go. And so just to recap, today's target, I can work cooperatively with my group to create a loom in the forest. So you're going to claim a workspace along the trail designated for your class hour, mark it with yarn and a sticky note, measure the width of the loom, both the top and the bottom, find and cut thick bittersweet for the top and bottom pieces, then tightly loom them together using John's technique. We're giving you rope, and please be careful not to get it all knotted up. And also, he's already made those loops for you, so you're all set there. So we hope that you have fun today. Ask us for any help that you might need.